guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Alexandra, back at it again with another video, and that's on period. Don't worry, I filmed this makeup tutorial, so I'm gonna send it to y'all, okay? Today we're gonna discuss the recent events that are happening right now in Minneapolis and across the states of America, okay? Soon Montreal. A man of the name, okay, disclaimer, my room is a little messy right now. It's simply because I'm redoing, painting, all of that. So I had to take off all my posters, throw away a couple of stuff, box a couple of stuff. Anyway, that's out of the way. So, a man of the name of George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis by a police officer who we came to find out knew the man for several years. And he murdered this man in cold blood by putting his knee on his neck while George Floyd exclaimed, "I can't breathe." Well, the murderer was then charged. First, he was fired from his job. Then he was then charged with 2 counts of manslaughter. Manslaughter, for those who don't know, is murder without intent. Guys, there's going to be a lot of vocabulary in this video, so you better get into it. Okay? Now, the state of Minneapolis in uproar broke out in civil protests, calm protests, pacifist protests, and then those protests were then translated into rioting and loots. What else? Other states erupted, included Atlanta, New York, Denver, Washington, D.C., and many of people of course, of color, Black people, are very angry at the situation because this has been happening since the Rodney King riot in 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Now, where can we stand as African American people, and what can we do to change this situation? First and foremost, I am standing with the people, of course, Black people. Look at my skin. Hello. I'm standing with people of color and Black people who are rooting against the change. I am a pacifist. I never got into a fight once in my life. Don't argue with people because I simply don't have the time. I don't have the patience. I do not support rioting and looting, and here's why. Especially rioting and looting are mostly caused by anarchists. Okay, anarchist is the first word of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The top. An anarchist is a person who believes in or tries to bring about anarchy. And anarchism, I don't know if I pronounced that right, is a political philosophy. Basically, anarchism, there we go, is a political philosophy and movement that rejects all involuntary, coercive, I can't pronounce, but I know what I'm talking about, people. Coercive form of hierarchy. It radically calls for abolition of the state, which it holds to be undesirable, unnecessary, and harmful. Anarchism is often linked to liberalism, socialism, fascism, and communism. These are political terms that we should know as African Americans, okay? These communism, liberalism, and fascism, let me give you an example. French Revolution was liberalism. We all know how that turned out, okay? In the French Revolution, they abolished the hierarchy, which is great, everything was going good. They took rouge. We were revolting. We were making a new political standard. And then guess who took over? An emperor by the name of Napoleon. Okay, so that right in the water. Then we have fascism. A common leader of fascism that we all know is Hitler. So Holocaust, may I remind you, World War II, we're not trying to do that. Throw that in the garbage. Communism, a country of communism that we have right now, China. No freedom of rights, no freedom of speech, no freedom of religion. So we're going to throw that in the garbage. We do not want the anarchists to come up and loot for involuntary causes that they hold dearest to their heart. The point of a riot is a voice unheard, as Martin Luther King Jr. has said. It is a voice unheard. We tried to get the attention of the state by holding calm protests. Girl, what? And it erupted into riots and looting. I'm of the belief that there are anarchist people that have erupted into riots, and it makes us look bad, okay? Because we are rioting for a cause. We are rioting because we are angry that this man got killed in cold blood. We want change. We want to be heard. These anarchists are going to come and revolutionize our political system in a way that is unfavorable for us. Okay? Everybody understands the concept of anarchism? Moving on. What can we do in our committee to help us get change? Notice every time we riot and we loot. Looting, for those who don't know, is stealing, vandalism. Anyway, it causes destruction and violence, okay? And we don't want that. We don't want our own businesses to suffer. If you want to burn down the Target, I was of the opinion, why are these people burning down the place that they live in, because the police officer doesn't live there, right? He's not going to get affected. But you know what? Black people are around the number one consumers of all American companies. Look, hair industry. We consume from there like crazy. Girl, I got 2 more wigs coming. I got 2 more wigs coming. Like, we are the biggest, one of the biggest consumers of the hair industry, the makeup industry. Who sets all this trends? Fashion industry, that's us. Like, they be taking from our culture and they're profiting off of it. So you know what? Burn down Target. I don't care. I'm just worried about the small businesses who are being affected by these. If you are going to loot against those major $1 million companies who milk us of all our culture, all of our money, and don't do favors in return, okay? Guys, don't touch the small businesses. All right. But what can we do to help our Black community? I'm of the opinion that education is freedom. Okay, if you are knowledgeable in the political system, the socio-economic system, in the health system, you will be able to access a bunch of things that people who fail to educate themselves can't access. Okay, we need to work together in our community to educate the younger generation, so that way we can infiltrate the system and these tragedies will not happen. If we have governors and political leaders in place that favor what we want, I'm not talking about the president of the United States, guys. The American political system is 1,000 times more different than the Canadian one. Okay, let's explore. We got a picture. So we have constitutions. We have the White House, the U.S. Capitol, and the Supreme Court. The U.S. Capitol is in charge of the legislative, which is the Congress, which holds the House of the Representatives and the Senate. These people are very important, okay? Legislative, keep that in mind. Then we have the White House, which is executive, which is just compromise of the president and the vice president, probably the secretary. The secretary don't do nothing anyways. Then we have the Supreme Court, which is judicial, which is compromise of the Supreme Court. So the most important parts of this American Constitution would be the legislative and the judicial, because those hold your representatives and the people who execute law on you in the judicial. So if we get people who represent our beliefs, our ways of life, who know where we come from, who knows our situation, who grew up in the same environment as us, of course they'll be in more favor than us. Knowledge is power. We need to climb up the ladder. We need to play a game of chess with the white people, guys. We need to make demands. We need to access higher heights, because this is not going to work out. We are in 2020 and we are still submitted to the conditions of the 1960s. Second of all, rioting is not going to work, okay? We have rioted before. We have been rioting since the late 1800s because we were not considered, first of all, we were considered as human beings. We rioted for the right to vote. We marched to have equal access to education, to go to normal public places like normal people and not be offended. But rioting does not work, ladies and gentlemen. We riot for 2 days, it calms down, and the same incidents happen again. We need change, okay? We need to find a way to force the government to hear us for change. And it's going to start by us, okay? As a Christian, God is love. We need to submit these people to love, care, compassion, forgiveness. A lot of you guys are not going to want to hear this, but we need, in order to move forward, we need to forgive. And we need to infiltrate these political and systems in order to get what we want. That's the only way we're going to get what we want, guys. And I just find it very unfortunate that people are adding fuel to the fire. A lot of people are not protesting for the right reasons. They're protesting out of anger, not protesting for change. A lot of people are seeking attention from this situation. People of color are not standing together in solidarity. That's another one. All people of color, all immigrants need to be standing together in this situation. We are all the minority. So if we all minorities stick together, we will eventually become the majority. I can assure you. What else is going on? Social media is a platform for propaganda. Make sure you're listening to valuable sources, not just hearsay. Don't be influenced by the media. The media is not showing you the calm protests that are going on. They're showing you the rioting, the looting, the burning down of buildings. Don't be controlled by propaganda. Don't be a victim, because in turn you will look like a fool. Keep your eyes open and your ears peeled, okay? These are signs of the time, guys. This is not going to get better, I assure you, okay? But we need to work together to make something change. Because a population without hope, a population in distress, can be taken over by anybody. Any political leader now could come up and say, I hear and feel you, and it could be totally a lie. He could be blindfold us right now. We need to stick together in solidarity and inform ourselves. Sign petitions. Do peaceful demonstrations. Fundraisers, events in our community that group together people of color, Black people. We need to show our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren that Black lives do matter. For the people saying all lives matter, please take the door. Electric chair. Okay, electric chair. I don't want to hear it. We know that all lives matter. We just want to let you know that Black lives matter too, and have always mattered since the beginning of the time. Before the oppressor came, baby girl, we were doing fine. They brought us here. They showed us violence. As the famous girl on Instagram said, I forgot her name. She's one of the peaceful, I don't know. A lady said, you showed us violence. They enslaved us, and they expect to have us to have the same enslaved mentality. That's why we keep going in a circle. The president has therefore declared civil war on us. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Excuse me, sir, what are you talking about? Why are white people able to demonstrate, protest about how they're mad that, I don't know, Karen's cat got killed? But when we do it, we're savages, we're thugs, we're monkeys, wild animals. FBI, if you're watching and you shut down my channel, you're foul for that, okay? But all I'm just saying, we have so much oppressed that we the Black man's number one enemy is himself. And that makes us the number one target. They have fed our community with drugs, alcohol, abortion clinics. Why is the nearest health facility an abortion clinic instead of a hospital, instead of a CLSC? There's no jobs available in our communities. There's no resources. So we're put into this cycle where we're chained, like if we're still enslaved. But somebody needs to break it. Somebody needs to break that cycle. We need to put in for better educational institution that teaches us about our culture, our ways of life, and that reflect us as a society. I don't know if you guys understood this video. I don't know if I forgot anything, but I love you all. Please, please, please. Oh, and I deeply, sincerely apologize to the family of George Floyd. And I pray that they get the justice that they want, that they will need to acquire in order to move forward. I pray for love, and I pray for that they will be comforted in these tough times. I also pray for the nation of America, and just let God intercede on their behalf, because without prayer, without God, they are nothing. That country was built on God, and that's all I have to say. Thank you very much. It's like, comment, subscribe, and please share this video on all platforms for people to see. And God bless. And this has been another video. I hope you like it. I love you guys. Bye.